Terima kasih banyak-banyak datang pada malam ini. Like many of the other speakers just now, I also benefited from the volunteers of Invoke. Bila saya bertanding di Setiawangsa 2018, semua orang cakap saya pergi ke sana sebab Azmin Ali nak bunuh kerjaya saya. Because I was in Selangor for 2 terms, I was a state exco, going to the only seat that UMNO has never lost in Kuala Lumpur. There's 20,000 military voters in Setiawangsa. But no, that's not true. I would love to credit Azmin for that, but that's not true. The credit goes to Rafizi. Because when we discussed, he said, at that time I was the youth leader for Pakatan Harapan and Keadilan. I have to go to a marginal seat, make a difference to help Pakatan Harapan to win in the election. And we did. I went there, and it was the volunteers, people who came in, party members, non-party members, came to help of all races. They came to help night and day, every day until 9th of May, saya menang dan menjadi ahli parlimen Setiawangsa dan kita menang mendapat Putrajaya. One of them, elderly Chinese guy, with his wife would come every night with their young kid. They will go through the electoral roll one by one. The kid will, when I bring my son along, play under the table, or sometimes the kid will just sleep there because they spend until tengah malam. And not long after our victory, he passed away. He was one of my key volunteers in the 2018 elections. He didn't even live in Setiawangsa, but he came to volunteer because Rafizi said, let's focus on the marginal areas. There's no need to focus in Ceras, in Seputih, Petaling Jaya, no need. We have to focus in the marginal areas because that's where the little difference will actually translate into something really big. Since then, we know what has happened. We've all been disappointed. Kang gave the example of a car and an engine. They're from Tanjung Malim, so he's very pro-car. But ladies and gentlemen, the battle next round obviously will be difficult. Some of us, including myself, maybe we were guilty. We thought that winning on 9th of May was the destination. It wasn't. It's part of the journey. Some of us, bila dah jadi menteri, bila dah dapat kuasa, we forgot about the people who voted us in. We forgot about the principles that we campaign on. So, to dream about a big Messiah, but let's focus on you, each and every one of you, each of us contributing to making this difference. That, I think, is the lesson of 9th of May 2018 and the Sheraton move. We have a government that is, I don't know what's a polite word to describe this government. Basically, kerajaan gagal. You can tukar the Perdana Menteri, but the kerajaan gagal. He can dress in the most expensive clothes, but it's kerajaan gagal. But it's not a joke. It's not just a joke. It's not just something to laugh about. Because real people are suffering. I was so angry at the statement about the harga telur. Because for rakyat Malaysia biasa, that's the most basic protein. Nak makan ikan, ikan dah lama mahal. Nak makan daging, lama dah mahal. Nak makan ayam, ayam pun mahal. KFC pun tak ada ayam sekarang. And then you say, kurangkan makan telur. I live in PJ. I've served PJ before in Sri Setia. I serve in Setiawangsa. Many people in KL, let's not talk about Kelantan, Sabah, Pahang. People in KL in the flats are living on nasi bujang. Rice, kicap, kadang-kadang ada telur, kadang-kadang tak ada telur. That's what they live on. Once a day, that's their meal. So when you talk about kurangkan makan telur, it really makes me angry. And that's why one of the things that was being touched on just now by Ayuh Malaysia is that we want to focus on education. I was fortunate, I came from a middle class family. But my father came from the kampung in Kota Baru. What made a difference was that he went to an English school and he had the best education. So I was fortunate to be born in a comfortable family. I grew up, everyone read. We were good in BM, we were good in English. Then I realized that the things that I took for granted, it actually comes from my environment. Saya tak hebat sangat, but I can be hebat because the environment. I went to a good school, I got the best exposures, the best support system. And this is what we need. In the 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, Malaysia invested in education. We sent kids abroad, we built schools, we hired teachers, and we could see the impact in our country. Because it's the best form of welfare to give our citizens education. Not give them money, but to give them education. Today, our system is suffering. I have kids, unlike orang-orang UMNO, my kids go to national school. So I can speak with conviction. I know how little money they have for the most basic items. How can we make national schools the school of choice if they can't even cover those basic things? One of the most basic programs that I ran, even before I became an adun, way back in 2007, Kak Mawarni is here. We both of us, we started a project called Project Mentari. It's in the flats in Desa Mentari in PJ. Again, kids who live in urban poverty, something that we can't think of before. Selama ni kita rasa miskin duduk kampung. Miskin Sabah Sarawak. No, we have miskin in PJ, miskin in KL. I'll finish shortly. We focusing on the basic subjects, Malay, English, Science and Maths. And we've seen the enormous impact that this project has given to the kids there. It ran all the way until COVID, from 2007 until 2020, when we couldn't continue the project. But at the same time, when I went to Setiawangsa, another problem that we realized was male underachievement. It's a real issue. As much as I know, there's a lot of issues affecting the females, but among the male, if you go to the universities, it's a tough challenge to find the boys in our universities. So we started in Setiawangsa a project where it's called Tunas Mentari, where we brought the teachers, volunteers from Mentari project, and we combine it with a football club, Setiawangsa Rangers. In the morning, they have to go to classes. And these are 9 to 12-year-old kids. The incentive is, provided they go to the classes, then petang, they can get to go to football training. And all they care is about the football training. So these are the practical lessons that I've learned. I've also served in the Selangor State Exco as for education. And I know it's not about national school or Chinese school or Tamil school. It's just about making our education system work. Because the moment we can do so, then, as I said, we can secure a better future for our country. So ladies and gentlemen, let's come together. All of us, thank you for contributing tonight. I hope that you can come together, continue to support, to become pachas, to help us win those marginal seats, to give us your ideas. You are experts, I'm sure. Teachers, educators, scientists, and so on and so forth. Give us your ideas so that we can continue to make Malaysia a better place. It can be done. The dream is not over. I can assure you that. The fact that all of us are here tonight, when people say
people have given up on politics in the country shows that people really want a better Malaysia for their children. And I think that's the most important thing. At the end of the day, we want to ask ourselves, when we leave this world, have we left a better Malaysia for our children? I still believe that we can. I still believe that when we all combine together, we can learn. Now that we've learned, we've gone through 2018 to 2020, we should come back better. You know, when we change the government, do not repeat the mistakes that we did. And I'm sure this time we can make a real difference in Malaysia. Thank you.
Thank you, Nik. As usual, Nik has always been very passionate with educational issues. That's also very close to our heart. I believe, as I said, we propose 5 radical policies, and one of them is education. We want to make sure our education can be more affordable with better quality.